Speakers are required to state their name and address for the council records and limit their remarks to 5 minutes. Generally, the city council will not take official action on items discussed at this time, but may refer matters to staff or a committee for a future report, or direct the matter to be scheduled on an upcoming agenda. Anybody want to speak for 5 minutes or thereabouts?
I would like to.
Teresa and I are going to combine our time
I
tonight.
wonder if we can just wait a second. Lori's not here and the tape isn't here yet, so let's,
Okay.
we're gonna get the tape.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, we'll just go on for the information items. Anybody else, or, oh, she's not, nobody can talk then. Sister City Committee, is there anybody here from Sister City Committee?
I don't think so. I think this one, they originally, I think, intended to be here, and we'll put them on a future agenda.
Okay, and the next one is Low Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau, bike rack placement,
That
Chris?
was gonna take a little bit of time. Why don't we get, just hang on. Why don't we just go ahead and get the tape set up? Oh, she'll be out there. No, not yet.
I can put him on college. Yes, yeah, I remember, but. Ready to go.
Okay, 5 minutes. Teresa, you're up.
Okay.
Do we have to come up there?
You want me at the podium?
Wherever you stand right there if you want to.
Okay. Okay. Well, actually, there's something that, where did it go?
It's here.
Okay. that we
We're
would
going
like
to choose to do a little something different tonight. After this plays, then I'm going to speak for a while. But we're combining our 5 minutes each, so it'll be an extended time.
Can you do that?
I think so.
Well, if we can, I'll take the first 5 minutes and then she can
Yeah,
have
she can have
five.
the first, that's a 5-minute video.
This is,
And that is,
hope everyone can see it.
the money required to eradicate hunger for everyone in the world has been estimated at $30 billion a year, about as much as the world spends on the military every 8 days. Just want to make sure everyone can see this. I thought this was atrocious. It's no wonder we have world hunger with so many dollars being spent on perpetual war. You want to show the audience for just a moment, Teresa?
That's the idea.
That's Bono singing right now.
So what is this you're listening to? What is this about?
It's a song about war, and there are a number of different artists, obviously, including Bono and some other famous people.
There's a choir from South Africa. The song is called War No More, and it's musicians from Israel and all over the world playing their instruments and singing about war. Martin Luther King said, "Our only hope today lies in our ability to recapture the revolutionary spirit and go out into a sometimes hostile world declaring eternal hostility to poverty, racism, and militarism. A genuine revolution of value means, in the final analysis, that our loyalties must become ecumenical rather than sectional. Every nation must now develop an overriding loyalty to mankind as a whole in order to preserve the best in their individual societies. And that's from A Time to Break Silence, Beyond Vietnam, April 4th, 1967, one of his famous speeches. History demonstrates that nonviolent social change comes about through bottom-up grassroots movements that resist systemic injustice and ultimately transform society. Such movements require committed people to be willing to make enormous sacrifices, including imprisonment and death, for the nonviolent struggle. I think that's precisely the call of the gospel, that we willingly share the paschal mystery of Jesus in pursuit of God's reign and God's justice. We sure need committed people today, people willing to sacrifice their time, energy, and even their lives for justice and disarmament. We need more and more people to join the many grassroots movements of our time and to pitch in with the hard work of local organizing and movement building. In a press conference in the Cannon Office Building, speakers called on the Congressional Budgetary Committee to pass a budget resolution that redirects military spending to domestic needs that serve people, peace, and the planet. They then presented their proposed budget and supporting petitions to staffers of Representative Paul Ryan, Republican of Wisconsin, co-chair of the Budgetary Committee. Pentagon budget is due for about a 10% reduction, or $52 billion. Jill Stein of the Green Party's cabinet, shadow cabinet, said that's not nearly enough. We cannot both feed the hungry and feed our children, feed our elders, feed us, and fill this absolutely bottomless pit of the military machine. In its proposed People, Peace, Planet budget, the coalition outlines 10 ways to slash military spending by 25 to 50%, including changing military policy, stop policing the world, ceasing to buy unnecessary weapon systems, and auditing wasteful practices at the Pentagon. The coalition chose December 10th, International Human Rights Day, to present its proposed budget because Stein said it's about our right to participate in democratic governments. What we're trying to do is restore the promise of democracy that is essential for us to have a life which truly reflects our needs and peaceful aspirations. This is a government that spends $1 trillion a year on crime, a crime of war making. This is a choice that other nations don't make, that have less money than we have and have better services and better lives than we have. We're spending about 10 times as much on the killing machine than we are on education. Our education budget is 6%. Our military budget is 57% of all the dollars we spend as a nation. I'd like to mention that in your CGMC packet announcement, it says the Department of Commerce is launching the Made in Minnesota Solar Incentive Program this month for customers of investor-owned utilities. Customers of these companies, including local governments, can apply for incentives that will be paid upon installation of solar systems that are made in Minnesota. The application period is from January 1 to February 22nd, 2014, and a lottery will be used to select recipients. I certainly hope this council will consider that. I noticed in Greg Zilka's Town 180 presentation on YouTube before it was deleted that he thought or mentioned that Little Falls City Council was a progressive city council. I'm going to share with you something from a truly progressive city council in Minnesota, one of a number of them. The Duluth City Council recently passed unanimously a homeless Bill of Rights, one that I would hope that this council would also take up. I'm going to begin reading this. I don't know how much I'll get a chance. If I don't, I'll finish it next time. In essence, this Bill of Rights forces any businesses, renters, or anyone else that the homeless might have to deal with to overlook the fact that they're homeless because they don't have a permanent address or phone. That's a lot of times a stumbling block for someone who is truly homeless, maybe living with relatives or bouncing from one place to the other because they don't have their own spot. Typically, they get discriminated against a lot in hiring because they are homeless. This bill prohibits that in the entire city of Duluth. And they have an enormous amount of veterans that are homeless in the Duluth area. Whereas the Declaration of Independence holds these truths to be self-evident, that all people are created equal, that they are endowed with certain inalienable rights, that among these things are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and whereas the number of people experiencing homelessness in Minnesota and within the city of Duluth is at an all-time high, with children and youth comprising nearly half, 46% of the state's homeless population. And whereas the lack of affordable, accessible, and supportive housing is the primary cause of homelessness, with 41% of homeless adults on waiting lists for subsidized housing and an average wait time of a year, and whereas poverty and homelessness negatively affect the welfare of individuals as well as the community at large by creating divisions among people, dimming prospects for our youth to
I'm
achieve in
sorry, but your
school.
time is up.
Okay, thank you.